Present by Annie Dillard. Catch it if you can. It is early March. I am dazed from a long day of interstate driving homeward. I pull in at a gas station in Nowhere, Virginia, north of Lexington. The young boy in charge, Chick et al., is offering a free cup of coffee with every gas purchase. We talked in a glass-walled office while my coffee cools enough to drink. He tells me, among other things, that the rival gas station down the road, whose free coffee sign is visible from the interstate, charges you 15 cents if you want your coffee in a styrofoam cup, as opposed, I guess, to your bare hands. All the time we talk, the boy's new beagle puppy is skidding around the office, sniffing impartially at my shoes and at the wire rack of folded maps. The cheerful human conversation wakes me, recalls me, not to a normal consciousness, but to a kind of energetic readiness. I step outside, followed by the puppy. I'm absolutely alone. There are no other customers. The road is vacant, the interstate is out of sight and earshot. I've hazarded into a new corner of the world, an unknown spot, a brigadoon. Before me extends a low hill trembling in yellow brome, and behind the hill, filling the sky, rises an enormous mountain ridge, forested, alive, and awesome with brilliant blown lights. I've never seen anything so tremendous and live. Overhead, great strips and chunks of cloud dash to the northwest in a gold rush. At my back, the sun is setting. How can I not have noticed before that the sun is setting? My mind has been a blank slab of black asphalt for hours, but that doesn't stop the sun's wild wheel. I set my coffee beside me on the curb. I smell loam on the wind. I pat the puppy. I watch the mountain. My hand works automatically over the puppy's fur, following the line of hair under his ears, down his neck, inside his forelegs, along his hot-skinned belly.
It gets better. You can skip to the heavy parts about being alone and the present moment. There's a lot of nature description because it's kind of her thing.
I thought, because I had seen the tree with the lights in it, that the great door, by definition, opens on eternity. Now that I have patted the puppy, now that I have experienced the present purely through my senses, I discover that, although the door to the tree with the lights in it was open from eternity, as it were, and shone on that tree eternal lights, it nevertheless opened on the real and present cedar. It opened on time. Where else? That Christ's incarnation occurred improbably, ridiculously, at such and such time, into such and such place, is referred to with great sincerity even among believers as the scandal of particularity. Well, the scandal of particularity is the only world that I, in particular, know. What use has eternity for life? We're all up to our necks in this particular scandal. Why, we might as well ask, not a plain tree instead of a bow? I never saw a tree that was no tree in particular. I never met a man, not the greatest theologian, who filled infinity or even whose hands, say, was undifferentiated, fingerless, like a griddle cake, and not lobbed and split just so with the incursions of time. I don't want to stress this too much. Seeing the tree with the lights in it was an experience vastly different in quality as well as an import from patting the puppy. On that cedar tree shone, however briefly, the steady inward flames of eternity. Across the mountain by the gas station raced the familiar flames of the falling sun. But on both occasions, I thought, with rising exultation, this is it. This is it. Praise the Lord. Praise the land. Experiencing the present purely is being emptied and hollow. You catch grace as a man fills his cup under a waterfall. Consciousness itself does not hinder living in the present. In fact, it is only to a heightened awareness that the great door to the present opens at all. Even a certain amount of interior verbalization is helpful to enforce the memory of whatever it is that is taking place. The gas station beagle puppy, after all, may have experienced those same moments more purely than I did, but he brought fewer instruments to bear on the same material. He had no data for comparison, and he profited only in the grossest of ways by having an assortment of itches scratched. Self-consciousness, however, does hinder the experience of the present. It is the one instrument that unplugs all the rest. So long as I lose myself in a tree, say, I can sense its leafy breath or estimate its bored feet of lumber. I can draw its fruits or boil tea on its branches, and the tree stays tree. But the second I become aware of myself at any of these activities, flipping over my own shoulder, as it were, the tree vanishes, uprooted from the spot and flung out of sight as if it had never grown. And time, which had flowed down into the tree bearing new revelations, like floating leaves at every moment, ceases. It damns, still, stagnates. Self-consciousness is the curse of the city and all that sophistication implies.
Right.
It is the glimpse of oneself in a storefront window, the unbidden awareness of reactions on the faces of other people. The novelist's world, not the poet's. I've lived there. I remember what the city has to offer. Human companionship, Major League Baseball, and a clatter of quickening stimulus like a rush from strong drugs that leaves you drained. I remember how you bide your time in the city and think, if you stop to think, next year I'll start living, next year I'll start my life. Innocence is a better world. Okay, I have to do this last one. Oh no, I'll go until the break. Innocence sees that this is it, and finds its world enough and time. Innocence is not the prerogative of infants and puppies, and far less of mountains and fixed stars, which have no prerogatives at all. It is not lost to us. The world is a better place than that. Like any other of the Spirit's good gifts, it is there if you want it, free for the asking, as has been stressed by stronger words than mine. It is possible to pursue innocence as hounds pursue hares, single-mindedly, driven by a kind of love, crashing over creeks, keening and lost in fields and forests, circling, vaulting over hedges and hills wide-eyed, giving loud tongue all unawares to the deepest, most incomprehensible longing, a root flame in the heart, and that warbling chorus resounding back from the mountains, hurling itself from ridge to ridge over the valley, now faint, now clear, ringing the air through which the hounds tear, open-mouthed, the echoes of their own wails dimly knocking in their lungs. What I call innocence is the spirit's unself-conscious state at any moment of pure devotion to any object. It is at once a receptiveness and a total concentration. One needn't be, shouldn't be, reduced to a puppy. If you wish to tell me that a city offers galleries, I'll pour you a drink and enjoy your company while it lasts. But I'll bear with me to my grave those pure moments at the Tate. Was it the Tate? Where I stood planted, open-mouthed, born before that one particular canvas, that river, up to my neck, gasping, lost, receding into watercolor, depth and depth to the vanishing point. Buoyant, odd, and had to be literally hauled away. These are our few live seasons. Let us live them as purely as we can in the present. Great.
Yeah, right?
I love it.